Hey FreightWaves fans, we're here again today to give you the latest in the stories that are happening now. Today, I am joined by Zach Strickland. Zach Strickland is our sultan of sonar. We're bringing him back from the dead after missing a few episodes. Great to have you back. One of the stories that we're looking at today is the OTRI, the Outbound Tender Rejection Index. Nationally, it remains soft. It's muted. What is happening? Zach, can you explain it a little bit to us?
Yeah, thanks, Chad. So we can tell over the year, OTRI has had a big roller coaster ride throughout the summer, and then it kind of just nosedives down here in the fall. We had a little moment around Thanksgiving.
It was around 15 in Thanksgiving, right?
And which is pretty standard procedure. But one thing that we expect to happen,
and 13,
especially...
This is low for this time, December 18th?
13.45 is low for this year. It may not be low all time, but the interesting part about this is that this is the week before Christmas. We expect things to really start destabilizing the closer we get to Christmas, and it's really just kind of poking its head up. It's not really making a big sharp turn north. A lot of that doesn't necessarily have to do with volume. A lot of it has to do with carrier availability as drivers are wanting to get home and into the areas that they need to be in. So it's really kind of a big deal right now that the market has not really shown up as a big spike. I think we covered this a little bit in a few days ago when the DAT index kind of shows these two big spikes in the year. Towards the end of the year, I should say, where Thanksgiving has a big spike and then Christmas has a secondary spike. Well, the spike around Thanksgiving wasn't huge, but the one over Christmas is also showing like it's kind of subdued.
So maybe things are just about to take that turn as drivers finally start heading home for the holidays. Whether they're going to be, taking extra freight on their way back in or having to deadhead it. I imagine we're about to see a spike up. What would happen if it remained low?
If it remained low, that just means that we're going to have a softer than average year. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no freight available whatsoever. It just means that it's a lot less volatile than it has been. I mean, I think people have grown accustomed to this volatility.
Is there anywhere in the entire country right now, Zach, that is not soft? Like, is there any hot parts anywhere? As we're looking at this map?
Yeah, so we've got the outbound tender market share map pulled up right now, and what this is going to do is tell you any markets that are going to have significant increases in market share. So it's not going to be
So the blue is the hot.
It is the hot, and that's the Harrisburg market.
So there is a very hot area. Why is Harrisburg hot?
There's a lot of reasons that Harrisburg could be hot. You've got a huge population sitting right here, but you also have all these railheads sitting here. And one of the big stories of the year has been the port volume, the influx of port volume coming in from the West Coast and also the East Coast, where the people are trying to get in front of the tariffs. Well, Harrisburg has a big pile of railheads, Allentown Market, all that has railheads, and we're getting right on the very edge of kind of these tariff deadlines. We just got an extension. So people had started kind of slowing down on their imports. Things still are slowing down, but all that freight went into these warehouses and DCs. And then as we get closer to Christmas, you're going to see these things kind of blow out into the marketplace.
Are you surprised to see such a hot market in Harrisburg of all places?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I would be, I'm not as surprised to see stuff like this in the Northwest or the Midwest this time of year, but Harrisburg is one of the biggest markets in the country. I believe it's the third biggest market by outbound volume in general. So that just means that there's a lot of concentrated freight in that area, and at any given time, that market can really destabilize rapidly.
Can we go back to the map? Are there places nationally that are soft that you're surprised are soft right now? You say that all the stuff from the ports is supposed to be that way because it's not making it to the retail shelves at this time.
All of that LA freight, basically, it's had its time. Like, everybody got tired of shipping into LA. They thought the tariffs were closing up. There's not enough time to get it back there right now. All that freight has moved in throughout the system here. So places like Chicago and Atlanta and Harrisburg are now digesting a lot of that freight.
Okay. I think that is our story of the day. Our national average is soft, and we expect it to start, meeting or exceeding our expectations and getting hot again. We'll see. Stay tuned. Thanks again for tuning in to FreightWaves Now, where we bring you the latest stories and market conditions about every 24 to 72 hours. Tune into our social media and check us out on the site as well. And if you have any more questions about sonar, we have representatives standing by ready to give you a demo or tell you more about how to become a subscriber. So thanks again, and be safe out there.